Hello everybody, welcome back for another video. Hope you're all doing well and that you're all having a great day. To start things off, the investor sentiment surrounding Bitcoin has been completely altered by the price action seen throughout the past few days. Since the start of May, the benchmark cryptocurrency has been caught within a consolidation phase between $9,000 and $10,000 for an extended period. The range eventually narrowed to around $9,100 to $9,300 last week. However, bulls were able to shatter this range, catalyzing a movement that would eventually lead Bitcoin to as high as $11,400 despite recent uptrends being met with heavy selling pressure from so-called Bitcoin whales. This latest uptrend differs from those seen previously. On-chain data reveals that these large investors aren't selling their crypto just yet, which may be an indicator that this rally has further room to extend. Since the capitulatory sell-off in mid-March, the balance of Bitcoin on exchanges has been sliding lower. The trend indicates that investors are moving their cryptocurrency off of exchanges and into cold storage, a sign of them adopting a long-term investment strategy. We heard this a couple of months ago, and we heard this many times kind of sprinkled all over the place, that there were tons of people who were taking their cryptocurrencies, namely Bitcoin in this instance, off of cryptocurrency exchanges, and people were trying to figure out where, and it turns out a lot of them are actually, who knows, storing them in mountains, putting them on other computers, or storing them on ledgers or other devices. If this continues, which it looks like it is going to, this will mean that there will be an increasingly smaller, shorter supply of Bitcoin floating around, and therefore it will actually be easier for the price to rise quite rapidly. That's a huge trend since that actual time period. The craziest part being is that it happened immediately after we had that crash in price. That's when people started taking their cryptocurrencies off of exchanges. I mean, it could also... There are a lot of factors that have been happening as far as the other cryptocurrency exchanges crashing and not working, and saying that their systems had gone offline for a couple of minutes. No one wants to really hear, you have, I was going to say a number amount. Let's say you have money anywhere on an exchange. You don't even want to hear from your bank that your bank went offline for, 25 minutes and you couldn't have access to your money. So, as it stands right now, the cryptocurrency market is doing well. There are a lot of analysts who assume that it is going to continue to do well. And we keep seeing dwindling amounts of Bitcoin on cryptocurrency exchanges. I've noted for the last year and a half, I do not think that there is, a massive amount of Bitcoin floating around on cryptocurrency exchanges in general. Like, I've just assumed, going through the actual numbers, that all the rich people who had hundreds of thousands of Bitcoin before, since 2012, have probably still been accumulating. The same with other institutions, other branches, other banks, other countries. And therefore, I really don't think that there's a lot of Bitcoin actually circulating. Some of it may be sitting on crypto exchanges, but there are people who do choose to decide to actually leave their cryptocurrencies on these exchanges, simply as, if you have 50 million Satoshis, you maybe want 10 million here, 10 million here, 10 million here, 10 million here. And that's just kind of how it goes. Anyway, tying directly into this news, rather loosely. It says XRP has come a long way since its all-time high value of $3.84 back in January of 2018. Back then, the digital asset was basking in the glory of a crypto-wide bull market, and the rumors that Coinbase would be adding it, or was going to add it to his list of digital assets. However, the listing did not happen until February 2019, and by this time, XRP was in a falling wedge that had its genesis from September 2018. For those of you who don't know where we get the idea from, the term, the Coinbase effect. It's pretty much this. Coinbase, once again, used to only be for Bitcoin. And then when Bcash came out, they said they were not going to add Bcash because the platform was once again only for Bitcoin. A lot of people realized that Coinbase held the keys for their Bitcoin and therefore had actually come into possession of the Bcash, and that Bcash was not sprinkled on the users who were custodying their Bitcoin with Coinbase. Bcash's price started going up as the rest of the cryptocurrency market started going up, and people were like, we're going to sue you unless you give us our Bcash. They gave them their Bcash, and at that point, they had already added a coin that shouldn't have been added to the platform. So they said, okay, let's start adding other things. And I think at this point they had 4 or 5 different coins on their platform. And they were like, all right, well, maybe we'll add XRP. And the rumors kind of circulated really, really fast. I think at this point it was still the number 3 cryptocurrency. And that's where we got this huge, massive uptick. It went from half a cent to 1 cent to 10 cents to $1 to $3.84, largely because of the entire market movements, but also because of the Coinbase effect. Everyone thought that it was going to be added to the largest cryptocurrency exchange in the entire world. And bada bing, bada boom. The other point is XRP right now has been one of the best performing cryptocurrencies within the top 10 over the last 4 to 5 days, and has managed to become very close to Tether. They were billions of dollars away before. We'll look at the prices in a minute, but I think it was like a couple million away from actually passing Tether. It has to pass it, of course, and then it had to maintain that actual movement as well, because we could see a slippage in price. Question mark, no one knows. But yeah, XRP is moving up rapidly in price, as much of the market is. Many of the top 10 coins aren't doing that well. But we'll see that as well as we go forward. Also in news as well, which is also quite popular, the author of Rich Dad, Poor Dad, Robert Kiyosaki, says he has stopped buying gold after respected gold bull Dennis Gartman withdrew his investment from the shiny rock. According to Robert, Dennis says the price of gold has peaked and there is no more profit to be made from it. Instead, he is now investing in silver and gold as alternative investments. Dennis Gartman, and I quote, Dennis Gartman, respected gold bull, is out of gold. Thinks gold prices peaked. I agree. Silver still around $25 an ounce, $50 next, question mark. Everyone can afford it. If you have money, Bitcoin is moving up. I am out of gold, loading on silver and Bitcoin. What are you doing? Got silver and Bitcoin, end quote, he wrote on Twitter. Robert has always been an advocate of investments in gold, silver, and Bitcoin. Being a millionaire himself, he has always pushed for investment in solid stores of value, and recently started investing in Bitcoin when his friend made a fortune from the digital asset. Yeah, that's a really good way for people to get into cryptocurrencies. If you really want people to get into Bitcoin, let them know that you have, no, because people are crazy. I was going to say, let your friends know that you made money from it, but have you ever seen those documentaries on people who've won the lotto? And then what their friends and family members do to them, so best not let them know what you have. The point is, this is not the only, first of all, this is a very popular article, for those of you who wanted to know. The fact that Robert Kiyosaki has come forward saying that he is no longer buying gold and instead is buying Bitcoin is a huge trend indicator, because we see a lot of, I guess you can consider him an institutional investor if you kind of want to say that. But a lot of people, for some reason, I'm not sure where this mantra came from in about a good day and a half. But apparently everyone is backing out of gold, thinking that gold has peaked, or that gold may go a little bit higher, but it doesn't have the same capacity to go much higher or percentage-wise as Bitcoin has gone, which I guess to a certain extent is true. There's been a lot of gold price predictions of $5,000 by the end of this year. I don't think that's going to happen. We would need like a catastrophic economic meltdown for that to kind of take place. But at the same time, it is more likely that Bitcoin would go to 20,000 because it's been there. I mean, you kind of know the entire discussion. Anyway, yeah, this was about 15 articles all over the place because rich people are dropping gold and getting into crypto, which they probably were the entire time. Remember when I said before, they would probably only announce with trumpets and horns that they were getting into Bitcoin once they had already gotten into Bitcoin. So they've loaded up already. And now they're just kind of letting everybody else know. Yeah. Let's move on. Next up, Bitcoin's price has been caught within a strong uptrend throughout the past week. It appears that the fundamental strength the crypto has published or established over the past few months is starting to reflect in its price. Bitcoin, like gold, has many of the landmark traits of being a hard asset in an economy. Data shows that institutions in particular are becoming increasingly involved with the crypto markets as trading activity on the CME, the Chicago Mercantile Exchange, has reached levels never seen before. Investors who feel jaded about the loose monetary policies that have been driving the markets higher are siphoning large amounts of capital to hard assets. Over the past month, silver's price has been caught within a strong uptrend that allowed it to climb from $18 to $25 per ounce. That is something that it's probably a lot of things. You usually don't hear about the things that investors are doing until they have once again already kind of loaded up on said asset or set thing, because we have known, me, you, I, us, that the monetary policies that we've been seeing over the last couple of months have been absolute nonsense, and we didn't really hear a lot from many different institutional investors or investors in general that this was a bad thing. You hear kind of sprinkled around and maybe one person on CNBC from time to time, but most of the news that we were getting, which I told you was complete nonsense, were from the people who kept on saying, oh, this is fine. 19's going away tomorrow. It's totally fine. The economy is going to go back up. And I'm like, you are not looking at reality. So what probably happened was that a lot of them realized what was going on, probably were withdrawing their money from other assets, and apparently have been putting it into cryptocurrencies. And also the CME has been doing incredibly well with their Bitcoin futures. You probably see where this is going as well. Intercontinental Exchange subsidiary Bakkt is reporting record numbers of trades for its monthly Bitcoin futures contracts as Bitcoin prices made a new high for the year. Does anyone know why this is really weird? Because we had news 3 or 4 days ago that since June, no one, not one person, had been trading on Bakkt at all. Not one person. We saw the graph. There was no one trading on Bakkt. The institutional investing platform reported its highest ever figure for Bitcoin monthly futures on the 28th of July with 11,506 contracts. 2 days before, there were 0. An increase of 85% over the previous record. The move followed a surge in the underlying asset's price to a 2020 high of $11,400 on the 29th of July. Bakkt topped the record with 11,706 contracts traded. They said, talk about momentum. We beat yesterday's record with 11,706 Bakkt Bitcoin futures traded today. That's over $125 million worth of Bitcoin. Bakkt's physically settled contracts are paid out in Bitcoin as opposed to cash settled contracts that are delivered in USD or USD. The momentum has been driven by Bitcoin's prices, which have finally broken out of their 2.5-month range bound trading channel. If we go a lot higher, I'll tell you this right now, when we hit 14,000, I'm pretty sure it was last year, the market went completely insane. I try not to say these things out loud. I say it to my friends quite often. The amount of momentum that we have received, not only the last couple of days, just the actual news that we've gotten of adoption of Bitcoin from institutions over the last 2 years has been monstrous. There are not a lot of Bitcoin left floating around in the ecosystem, in the actual ether. What is logic? The point is, before I can have an hour-long ramble on this, there's nothing really holding us back from Bitcoin's price exploding at this point. We know that Bitcoin has been adopted. We know that Bitcoin is going to be used. We know that all, not some of them, all the major institutions, not the smaller ones that you maybe have heard about once or is in some other state or country that you maybe saw a picture of. The major ways that money flows around the world, these companies are all into Bitcoin. There's nothing logically stopping us from hitting 14,000. That is the grand number that people are. We passed by all the resistance. Boom, bing, pew, 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 pow. Everything has been moved by because of this grand surge that we had in price over the last couple of days. 14,000 is the magic number because that's where we hit last year. And I think that was when the whole BSV controversy and a whole bunch of other things started coming to light. And then we dipped back down really heavily in price. All of that, even these dips down are nonsense. You should all know by now that the major players on the planet are all into Bitcoin in some sort of way. I don't mean they're buying up 3,000 Bitcoin per day, but they have some in their portfolio. I don't have to even repeat the names of the companies and institutions who are into it, but you should know this by now. The point is, it's very interesting to me that a surge that should have happened before actually caused a revival in Bakkt. Once again, no one was using this platform just a couple of days ago, and even the CME is recording record numbers. If we continue this, and I'm trying not to get my hopes up, if we move up to $12,000 and $13,000, the interest in these futures markets is going to completely explode. The amount of people who are going to be making money and bragging that they've been making money to their friends or to their siblings or whatever the actual case might be from the crypto market going up is going to cause other people to put more money into the cryptocurrency market. We are currently in a spot right now where there are a lot of people who do not have jobs or do not have this. I mean, the people are struggling right now. And if people hear that there is a way for them to potentially make, air quotes, free money off of just putting their money into some type of a system or into a cryptocurrency, and they end up making like the same exact thing that we heard yesterday. The people who put their stimulus check into Bitcoin made a free $600 over a course of like a couple of months. The point is, institutional interest is very high. It was always there. I assume the run-up has just been because of the logical news that we got that all the major players are in the space. Anyway, also tying directly into rich money being into crypto. Crypto fund manager Grayscale Investments has managed to increase its assets under management by another $1 billion in less than 2 weeks, according to an updated post posted by Grayscale's Twitter account on the 28th of July. The investment firm currently has $5.1 billion in assets under management. The funds are mostly held in Grayscale's trust for Bitcoin, Ether, and they also have smaller allocations of Bcash, Ethereum Classic, Horizon, Litecoin, Stellar Lumens, XRP, and Zcash, and there's the chart right there. Yes, of course they have accumulated another $1 billion in less than 2 weeks, because we had the news before that they've been buying up as much Bitcoin as they possibly can the last couple of weeks. Just understand and always be wary, or rather be not, the word isn't cautious. Just understand that there is, of course, a huge risk in any investment. It is not just crypto, but we are potentially on the cusp of something monumentally great. I don't have a lot of the other articles in here because I read through them and I thought they were a bit much. There are a lot of people who are predicting that Bitcoin is going to, these are predictions and no one knows if they are real dictions, that's not the word, if Bitcoin, that Bitcoin could potentially, during this cycle and the next couple of weeks and or months, not the actual end of the year, aim for 15,000 to 20,000 US dollars. There are a couple of other people who are saying that by the end of this year, we may be trying to hit a massive surge in price, and therefore we may hit $40,000 to $45,000 per Bitcoin. If we start surging and we really start edging towards 20,000 US dollars per Bitcoin, all the other coins are also going to go completely insane. So this sounds great and wonderful because it's a way for all of us to make really good money. But just understand, I have to say this, that there is a risk in any market, and cryptocurrencies are one of them. That being said, make sure that you understand everything about where you're putting your money and that you are, I don't even know the word. Just make sure you're putting your money in the right place and that you're not just kind of throwing it all about. Because this is the moment we've been talking about for a couple of months now that we've all been waiting for. And we're here. And the next step, if it does happen, another part of what we've been talking about, There's going to be a lot of money to be made. So just going to throw that out there. Next up, the Central Bank of the Philippines, locally called the Bangko Sentral ng Pilipinas, is looking at the feasibility of issuing its own digital currency. Of course. Bloomberg reported the news on Wednesday, saying that the central bank has created a committee to study digital currencies and its policy implications. Governor Benjamin Diokno said the central bank would look at the findings of the committee before taking any decision. The group is expected to announce the initial results of the study next month. While the prevalence of digital currencies is increasing, Dionco said he doesn't see the demand for fiat currency fading away yet in the Philippines. That could also be true. I mean, there are many places around the world who are probably going to take a little bit longer to transition from a paper or coin-based currency system to a more digital one. Like, there are certain countries who've tried to go completely digital, but it didn't really work out for them. And this is why we see like only certain countries, like certain Nordic countries, who are almost completely digital right now. He said cryptocurrency for us has always been beyond the asset itself, but more on the blockchain technology that underpins it. This is not 2014 anymore. I think somebody has to tell him that. The point is, of course they are. Why should anyone be surprised that this is happening or that they're discussing this? Every central bank around the world is either thinking about, air quotes, creating, or has already created their own central bank digital currency, and they're just simply looking for ways. Because listen, think logically. How many, if you were a developer for Bitcoin or Ethereum or XRP or any other major coin, and some government came to you and said, we'll give you $15 million if you help us create our own digital currency, you would tell the people, you would tell Vitalik, you write him a nice letter and say, hey, I'm going to have to take a sabbatical for about a good year and I'll be right back. You would, of course, help these. There's a plethora of people who are able to actually create these things. Just because it's created doesn't mean it has to be released. So this is why I've always said before, I'm pretty sure the U.S. also has theirs. Remember a couple of months ago when they were talking about releasing the stimulus checks through a digital means or a digital currency? Why would that have been a proposition for the entire thing? That means that they already have the U.S. digital dollar. It just hasn't been released to the public yet. Anyway, of course they are. Every single major central bank in the world is doing this. I wonder what the implications for this are going to be. I wonder how uninteroperable they're going to be, because if there's no unity now in the normal monetary system, just imagine every country on the planet trying to use the exact same system. And then listen, they're all going to create their own systems and then argue with other countries, no, you have to use our systems because our system is trusted more than yours. You already see where this is going. Anyway, of course they are. The Philippines is creating their own digital currency, and I'm sure we'll hear a lot more about this by the end of this year, which is the time frame that we should have for when China is going to be actually releasing their own central bank digital currency. And at that point, that's when other governments would say, hey, we have one too, and then you know what's going to happen. And to finish things off, crypto exchange giant Binance has announced that it is going to expand fiat to crypto services to Australian customers. According to a blog post from the crypto giant on Tuesday, the Binance Australia platform would allow Aussies to buy and trade digital currencies with their local currency, the Australian dollar. Australian customers would be able to deposit AUD straight from their bank accounts onto the platform by using PayID. According to the global crypto giant, Australian users would be able to deposit without any fees. In order to withdraw funds from their accounts, users in Australia can link their bank accounts to Binance Australia and make a withdrawal request. Currently, the platform is available on desk and mobile web. An app is expected to launch sometime later. Changpeng Cao said that that Australia has been at the forefront of blockchain innovation with favorable policies. Sure, we actually never hear anything about Australia when it comes to cryptocurrencies. The last news we had about anything digital in Australia was that they hated Libra. That was, I think, the last time I said the word Australia on this channel. Anyway, Binance continues to expand, as they said they would at the beginning of this year. I think their goal was to launch a fiat currency platform trading open session area for every currency on the planet. It's been about a good month since we heard any extra news about that, but I think they've covered all the major currencies. They have about 33 different gateways, at least, for fiat to crypto or crypto to fiat around the world, which is absolutely incredible, which also lends to the entire idea that as the markets go higher and people want to get into the market, they no longer just have to use Coinbase and just have to use US dollars. They can use their own currency as well. Yeah, absolutely incredible. I'm sure expansion and adoption of the cryptocurrency space is going to continue. I do not see it slowing down anytime soon. As always, a very special thank you to my Patreon supporters. Professor Wally from Gunbot University, Navarro Williams, David James, Attila the Han, Yasha Harari, Oscar Maldonado, Utopia 569, Moonman High, XRP, Joshua Vineyard, Martin Stoyer, Nostromo, John Sarson, The Animal Reader, A Bibliophobia, Todd Mullis, Adam Graysick, Moher Maroni, Master Ventures in Thailand, Jared Schneider, Wise Night Owl, 242 to the World, Crypto Joe, Bankroll Network, Crypto Artist, Coldy, 3D, Damien, Setsuna, Nick Kanaya, Richie Rich III, Vlad the Impaler, Paxis, Nick Mangialavori, Anthony Charles, Jim Garner, Jeremy Fox, Minting Coins, Miller Hitch Test Every Day and Kyle Skips Leg Day, Yes to Crypto, Bodie McBoatface, Anytime Fitness, Monk's Corner Staff, Arfmedic17, Bake Me a Cake, Tigger Macha Nisa on Crypto with Lionel, Crayola Michelle, URL, and Bolero Bastos. Thank you all very, very much for your support. And thank you to every single person, every single one of you out there who is a supporter of this channel. At the moment, Bitcoin is currently up to 1.99%. It is currently at 11,012 US dollars. Ethereum is up by almost 3%. XRP is up by just a smidge under 9%. Here's what I was talking about with the market cap. They're both at 10 billion, 0.3. It is 60 million away. Yeah, 60 million away from being able to pass by Tether once again. It appears that people into XRP or in the XRP market are actively trying to do this. You hold a huge candle when you say that I am the number 3 coin. And, you know, Tether's been tethering. They've printed 300 million more over the last couple of weeks, which they say is an indicator of the interest in the cryptocurrency market and that they only create more Tether when more people are into crypto. A lot of the coins are up. Nearly all of them are up. Chainlink is down at the moment. A couple of coins are in the red, but they're not like red. A lot of coins are doing. Some DeFi coins are down. To be fair, they were going up like 700% over the course of like 4 weeks. So, you know, take a breather and all that. But the market looks pretty okay. It is obvious, at least at this point, that the market is waiting for Bitcoin to make another decisive move. And everything else will probably follow suit as well. I do hope you all enjoyed. I do hope you all are having a great day, a great morning, a great afternoon, a great evening, wherever you are, wherever you might be. I do hope that it is absolutely fantastic. Thank you all once again for watching and or listening, and I will most certainly be talking to you all soon. See you.